What makes the greats great? What makes the successful successful? What makes the brilliant brilliant? Our Tuesday meetups with the celebrities of pharma industry and science are your one-stop shop to all these answers and more. Join us for Pies of Life, an initiative of the Biopatrika Industry Mentorship Program, where we bring your dream mentors to you.
In Biocon itself, people who are from IIT are directly given assistant manager post, people from ICT are directly given senior executive, and people from local colleges are given executive post. So I don't say that, I mean, okay, to get into IIT, definitely you have to work hard. Now, that doesn't mean that only bright students are studying in IIT. It's also possible that due to some economic or social reasons, students are not able to get into IIT and they had to forcefully study in a local college. So that should not impact them in their career, right? So the marks or the institute you're studying should not define your life. So and similarly, even if you get a less mark, that should not define your career. Even if you get 60%, that doesn't mean you are a poor, I mean, you're a weak student. Definitely he is talented. So so a person who is extremely talented and just he is getting rejected for getting 60%, it should not be a case. So that is
Absolutely.
my
Interesting thought. Interesting thought. Shruti, I can give you two little perspectives on this.
sure,
One is
sure.
from my own experience in,
Yeah.
I help run a small startup company out of Kolkata at the moment. Uh, and we try to hire full stack developers. So, sometimes we hire freshers and sometimes we hire sort of more experienced people. One thing that we have realized in hiring, and again, you have to keep this in mind that we are a small startup, so we have limitations in what we can offer to every employee in terms of their compensation package, etc. But even given that limitation, what we figured out is that uh, over a period of time, the more productive hires that we've had are uh, like ranking students from uh, places like Ashoka University or Amity University, or these kind of private universities which are pretty good, but not the IITs or the IIMs or one of these kind of places, right? But since we can't hire maybe the top ranking people from IITs, when we go to IITs, for example, Kharagpur IIT or something, we went for some hiring loops. And when we try to hire the ones who are not ranking, right at the top in those IITs, but actually the more middle rung students, and we've hired a couple of them, we have realized that we actually did not have a very good experience with those kids. I mean, we actually had better experience with the second ranking college, but top ranking students. They were more motivated. They were more sort of less entitled in some ways. And they were in a startup environment where you cannot guarantee exactly what they would do on a day-to-day basis, or sort of have to be able to be flexible to kind of shift job roles a little bit to try certain things and expand the horizon of the designation that you've been hired for. We definitely saw that there is an advantage not hiring people from absolutely the top run colleges, unless, again, I mean, I qualify, unless you can hire the best and the brightest of those colleges, which we can't as a small organization. So, I mean, that's one thing from my personal experience. And the other is that, Shruti, on TED, you'll see, and I can't immediately remember the guy's name, but on TED, there is a brilliant TED talk by this guy who was a part of the Taj Hotel, which got attacked in 26/11. And he makes a very interesting use case. He illustrates a very interesting use case where he points out that a lot of employees of the Taj actually showed a certain degree of courage and a certain degree of empathy towards the people who were in trouble, including themselves and their colleagues. that cannot be explained by any regular means of how they were compensated, how they were rewarded, how they were. I mean, it was absolutely something which was off the charts kind of an experience for them. So what makes these people go so far above and beyond what their job roles are? And he has this brilliant talk about it. One thing that he points out, and I think he has like three different points. I can't think of all the three of them, but one or two of them are that that the Taj Group apparently makes it a point that they go to, when they're hiring these people, they go to rural areas and they actually hire from very rural places, not very fancy colleges and not very fancy schools, to hire people who have a enculturation of respect and enculturation of humility in some ways, rather than hiring the best and the brightest and the people who can talk the best and represent themselves the best. So, it was an interesting observation. I hadn't thought about it this way, but I don't know, after talking to you, it just came to my mind that, so check it out, the Taj Group, and I'm sure you can, find it
Sure.
easily if you see the TED Talk.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Pallavi, maybe you tell about yourself.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible? Hello.
You're
Yes.
very audible.
So I have done BTech and MTech in biotechnology. Then I started my career as a senior research fellow in AIMS. And after that, I have joined Lupin for a very short period of time. And I started professionally my career with Biocon in translational research lab as a scientist. And I have served there for 4 years and then shifted to Dr. Reddy's as a research associate with the same background with in vitro, in vitro and bioassays development with the Biologics. Here I am. Yeah.
Wow, right on, right on. So are you looking for a career change, or what, or are you happy with Dr. Reddy? I mean, where are you in terms of your career, sort of?
Currently, I'm happy, but I'm looking with the different dimension, not with the same thing. Like nowadays, there are so many new prospect of job you can see, like genetic counseling and other things. So I just wanted to. Yeah.
Sorry, would you tell me your name one more time, please?
Pallavi Mishra. Yes.
Pallavi, Madam
Yeah.
Pallavi. Madam Pallavi, what does genetic counseling even mean? Sorry, I just wanted to know, what does genetic counseling mean?
Yeah, basically right now, see, you can see there is a lot of change and there is a change with the means stuff awareness is like lacking behind. So basically these people are like working with the different aspect of diseases and all, and they will counsel with the normal like people who is not aware and they have the cases in their families. So they will educate them well that this is not because of some silly thing, or means I'm telling you with the very basic thing. It's like these people are going and discussing with them that what exactly the scenario is, what is the medical condition behind it, and why this is happening and all. And one more thing, now more of the people are more into, like you can see that initially nobody was going for cryopreservation and all, for placental cord blood and all. Now these people are educating them about their genetic hierarchy. I'm just reading, I'm not even very good person to give you a proper answer, but this is the scenario actually. So they will basically groom the people for their genetic, like we have do kundli matching and all. So they will initiate you to check for the genetic hierarchy or history of your family rather than going with these things. So I felt this is
Got
a
it.
nice concept. And yeah,
Sure.
hospitals also, they are renowned doctors who is doing genetic counseling with respect to your means medical background and everything that you can suspect that might be in future what gonna be happen with the new offspring. So I'm just reading through a little bit
Right.
paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Super interesting. I mean, it seems like it is sort of sort of borderlining the ethical aspect of
True.
genetic research as well.
Yeah, true. See, research is what I feel, no? Researches are going on in the background. But if you will talk about the common people and all, they are not aware that what exactly we are working as a scientist or as a R&D candidate. So basically, I feel means if we are counseling people, I'm not talking about the genetic counselor, but if we are counseling people or discussing about our research in front of people, like so that will be helpful to understand people what exactly means going on in the R&D field related to any disorder and all, which is I know it's not practically currently means we can accommodate everyone, but yes, we can start little bit.
So Pallavi, and this is also a question for Naren, I guess. I mean, these big pharma companies like Dr. Reddy or Biocon or these people, do they have like outreach programs? Do they have these kind of sensitization sort of efforts that, you know, sort of Pallavi is kind of hinting at?
Yeah, I mean, some of them do. Some of them, they have to be more aware of what they're doing. So most companies who are developing gene therapies and things like that, they obviously have big departments to do this. But genetic counseling is a whole field on of itself. You can do masters in genetic counseling, and in fact, Hyderabad has one of the biggest or the best genetic counseling training institutes. Do you know Yashodhara from Biocon?
Is it
Yeah.
CCMB?
Actually,
Oh,
from
sorry.
Yashodhara only, I got to know that, yeah, we can pursue our career in that
Yeah.
direction also.
So you can do that. So this is great. I don't know if Shruti's back. There are some other people who usually show up at this call, but it's okay. We are here, and so we'll have fun. So let me quickly introduce you to Kaushik, and then I think we'll see where we go. The conversation has already started. It is just basically learning from each other. So Kaushik, I've known Kaushik now for a year or so more, a little bit more than a year now. He's a I'll let him talk about himself, but I got to know him in Biocon. I don't know if you know Tisha. He's Tisha's brother. And so one thing led to another. Kaushik and I connected at multiple levels. And I thought it'll be interesting for you to meet him and talk to him. So Kaushik, take it away. You can, direct it in any which way you want.
Naren, I feel a little shy about, I mean, is there a specific perspective that is better to highlight or just to talk
Well,
about, what
yeah.
professionally?
So my point, like among the many things, and I leave it up to you, but my thing was, how do you how do you do a job and continue to follow something that you're passionate about that is seemingly unrelated to the job? How do you follow both things in life?
Naren, great question. I mean, I think it has not been a very easy path in the sense that I have these struggles within myself, I mean, I think I mentioned to you already, I have some friends who have managed to sort of marry their passion and their profession. And I can see like many advantages to that as well. But all through my career, I have consciously sort of maintained that I want to do something passionately, which is of course my profession, and I have a certain degree of passion about it. But all the things that I'm passionate about do not need to meld into my profession. So I've kept, sort of it very, very separate over time. To give you an example, I think I have a dedicated kind of a travel bug that I'm bitten by, and to the extent that just to give you an example, while I was working in Microsoft, as a developer, I mean, work was, and I have to say, work was 80 hours a week quite often. I mean, especially before like product releases or before there were these crunch times where one had to work a lot. And I also met people who could work consistently 80 hours, 80 hours a week or 100 hours a week. And I couldn't. I personally had to work a little bit in a crest and a trough kind of a fashion, in a more of a sine curve. I mean, I would work a lot, and then I would need a little bit of downtime. I mean, that's what I've realized, and that's what and I used to do a lot of hiring for Microsoft also. I mean, be in these hiring loops. I also have realized, being in those hiring loops over the years, is that I think I've seen a lot of really smart people who burn out because they're super smart and they get into a company like Microsoft, which has a big milieu, and you could do very many different things. And as soon as you get in, you can, sort of see that it's easy to, not easy, but it's possible to climb and, climb up and try different things, etc. And then, uh, and then, I mean, the thing that we used to notice quite a bit is that people have a vision of 1 or 2 years ahead, and then they really these are like highly motivated, high intellectual horsepower people who work a lot, and then they start getting kind of burned out, even if their work is of a certain level. Their ability to cooperate with other people, work in a team, collaborate, all kinds of soft interpersonal skills. I mean, those things take a hit, and slowly their motivation gets impacted. So, I mean, one thing, I mean, when we were hiring for Microsoft, we used to do this, sort of everybody was given a certain area for candidate to test. Like, for example, it could be courage and conviction or something like that, I mean, just to give you one example. So we figured out that it's people who interview in companies like Microsoft or whatever, and they're really almost always, with a good academic career, with a good background, with a good IQ, with a good set of technology skills, etc. I think the real difference it makes is whether you can pace yourself, whether you have this internal awareness that there are multiple things that sort of get it sort of together in making you as a productive individual, through your career. And I still remember my first boss in Microsoft, a lady named Colleen Hunter Gale. She was actually an ultimate Frisbee United States nationals player. I mean, she was like really a part of a world champion team. She was an ultimate Frisbee player. Very tree-hugging, typical Pacific Northwest gal. Anyway, Colleen once told me, and this was an interesting observation. I don't know if, with a long career in corporate yourself, Naren, if you would agree or not. She once told me, and I don't know if I can put it in the right, words. She once told me that she sees people who people can think through or think ahead about half the time of however long they have spent in their career. So if they have had a career of 10 years, it's possible to ask them, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? If you have a career of 6 years, it's possible to ask them, where do you see yourself 3 years from now? But if you have a career of 10 years, don't ask this person, where do you see yourself 8 years or 9 years from now? Because they will not have that vision. It's the rule of thumb is only, sort of check with people about half the length of their careers, what they want to do ahead. So I found that to be an interesting, sort of that was a sort of a guiding principle that I kind of also followed in trying to hire or assess, whether people would be suitable for a specific job or overall a good hire for a company in the long run. So I don't think I answered your question very well, but I think I tried to like marry all these different things in my head and keep a part of myself preciously preoccupied with things I loved, and not allowed even a beautiful company like Microsoft or beautiful people, who I felt answerable to, who I felt responsible for in some ways, take over that part, because it's very possible, and it's so common to, I mean, done it. So.
Yeah, so maybe we can ask Kaushik a few questions based on his comments. Pallavi, Shruti. I can also ask you some questions while we're on, because we're only two of us here. Yeah, we can go one at a time. Shruti, you go ahead.
Okay, so currently you are working in a startup, or you're working in Microsoft. It's not clear actually.
No, good point, good point. So I'll give you a little bit of background for myself. I did my bachelor's in physics and a master's in computer science. Then after that, I got hired by Microsoft directly out of college. I did not really, go, I mean, I didn't do any big job interviews or haven't really checked out at the time, who else was hiring, etc. I kind of got picked up by Microsoft. They asked me to come to Redmond to Washington State, and work as a developer. I mean, yeah, work as a developer. I actually joined as a systems engineer and then moved into development very quickly. And then I worked as a developer in Microsoft in the core Windows audio team as a device driver developer, working on the 3D core audio stack of Windows. I don't know, Shruti, how much you know about this stuff, but anyway, maybe it might make sense. I did that for, I don't know, 10 years or so. And then I moved into being a technology evangelist, where I would work with other companies around Microsoft, which were building hardware, which needed to work with the Microsoft operating system, right, which is Windows. So the thing is that, if you are building an operating system like Windows, you need to have an ecosystem that works lock and step with you, so that when you come up with the next version of Windows, everything works seamlessly, right? Which is what people expect. So there was this sort of part of sort of technology evangelism, which involved a lot of solutioning, technical architecting. So then I did that for about 5 years, another 5 years. And then in 2009, end of 2009, I decided to come back home to India after about 15 years in Seattle, because I don't know why. I mean, if you ask me why I came back, I don't have a very good answer for it. I just knew I would always come back. Just got back. And then I was still, I actually, it so happened, there is a little bit to say here. My father passed away, and then something changed. I went on a very long road trip in Africa. I mean, I started driving with a friend from north of Belgium, and then we moved into France and went through France, went through the Pyrenees mountain, got into Spain, crisscrossed through Spain, through the Costa del Sol, went into Gibraltar, and then put a car on the boat in Morocco and got the car back in Morocco, crisscrossed Morocco, Mali, Mauritania, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Burkina Faso, Gambia, all the way to Cameroon. So we did this long trip in about 4 months or so, 4.5 months. And Microsoft really allowed me to do these things. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, it was really, they've been so super nice to me. I can't really, say enough. Anyway, but something had shifted, through this trip in Africa. I just went back to Redmond. It was a very, very white collar place with Boeing, Microsoft, and Amazon people. It was very, very cosmopolitan. It was really, with a lot of interesting people from all over the world. Loved it. And I had like many, many good friends, but I decided that I couldn't live there anymore. I just had enough, in some ways. So I came back to India. I went to actually my boss, and there was a guy called Mark Kunster. I went to Mark's office and I said, Mark, hey, I want to go back. So I've decided to go back. If you have something for me in India, great. If you don't have something for me, that's also perfectly all right. I am going back. So Mark said, hey, don't be so much in a hurry. I'll find something for you. So then they found something for me. I came back to India. I had an Asia Pacific role in technology evangelism. Used to work also, it was Asia Pacific minus Korea, Japan, China. So it was India plus all the South Asian countries, including Australia and New Zealand. I did that for about another 6 years, almost 6 years. Which was a lot of travel. It was a lot of travel. It was a techno-commercial role, a lot of solutioning, architecting. That was also the time when I got very involved in the Aadhaar project, with Mr. Nilekani. Microsoft didn't have a very good footprint. The Windows didn't have a very good footprint. So we wanted a sort of a kind of a device that could change character, in the morning, it could be, let's say, a banking device. In the evening, the same device could be used in the postal system. Depending on where the device was being switched on, it could change character in terms of language, in terms of the functionality, etc. So, and all of it would be connected with the Aadhaar, mode of sort of exchange of information, etc. So I did the architecting for that for Microsoft a little bit. But in 2015, I kind of got, again, there is something that shifted in me. I thought that, the ride was great, but my station had arrived. I really needed to jump off the train. And I also had a little bit of fear that I was becoming a little too soft. I don't know if I can really explain this adequately to you, Shruti, but it's great to have a nice salary check at the end of the month, and it makes things easier. But I don't know, there's something that shifted in me. I thought that I don't want that anymore. I want to throw myself in a little more of a uncertainty perhaps in some ways, and try something else. And I really didn't know what it was. I didn't even know what would that next step be. I just had a few things in mind. I was looking for some volunteering positions in Ethiopia. Me and this friend of mine, we have this car that we want to take this around the world. So we started planning a overland trip from Paris to Kolkata. So we were planning this trip from Paris to Kolkata. I have been a magician all my life, a sleight of hand and a mentalist, kind of a corporate magician. So I wanted to do, maybe I was thinking I'll be a full-time magician. I have a fair bit of travel writing that I've done through my travels. So I was thinking I'll just maybe rent a little little house in Shillong and then try to write a book. So there was all these different things I was thinking about. And then turns out that none of it sort of came true. I also realized that a part of my left brain, I have a artistic sort of, component to myself that is very drawn. I can't do anything very well, but no any specific art form, but I'm very interested and very driven by it, drawn towards it. But I also realized that when Microsoft was not there, a very large part of my left brain, which was about critical thinking, kind of became empty. So I realized that it finally took over. So I had a interesting idea in unsupervised machine learning, which is like a artificial neural network related idea, which I milestoned and I proposed to some people, and I got some money, which allowed me to run the first startup that I started running. So I started running my first startup. Then that didn't really, pan out, not because we had any problems with the idea really, but the people who gave us the money, their business also folded up. They had some complication, etc. So then I worked as an entrepreneur in residence for a financial sort of company, which was evaluating projects, where to give money and what are the technology boundaries for those projects, etc. So I did that for a little while, and then I found two other people who had sort of similar inclination as mine, in some ways. So these two friends, we started another company in 2018, which is called Onometra Technologies. We essentially, it's a custom development engineering company in software, but we also have a silo which works as a sort of research as a service related work for in the machine learning space. So it's a more sort of a research focused kind of an approach in our company. So that's what we do at the moment. It's Narendra knows it's a critical time for us. We have a product idea that we have developed. We want to take it to the market and raise some funds to make all that happen. So now I find myself in a different shoe where I have to talk about business, and because I've been an engineer all my life, basically, I don't know a lot about marketing or business or any of these things, but now I have to step out of that comfort zone and talk to people about investment and convertible notes and all this kind of stuff. I have to understand a little bit, some legal terminologies, etc. But let's see. So things keep changing, which is kind of nice.
So you're enjoying startup world or corporate world? In your life, I think you have experienced both of them till now, I guess.
Shruti, I can't go back to corporate, that I know.
Okay.
After trying out something on my own, it's very tough. It's mostly because when I say it's very tough, mostly, I don't have my own family. I'm still single. I live with my mother. Whatever. But So in some ways, it has been easier for me, to try out these kind of different things. If I had 2 kids and worry about their schools, probably I couldn't have done some of these things. But I also realized that running a startup is a lot like having your own family, because now we are actually responsible for 22 to 25 people, and I know many of them have families, even if I don't. So I feel that I'm personally directly responsible for their well-being, and it keeps me up at nights, really, honestly, Shruti. So that part is stressful, but I can't go back. I mean, I can't work for another company just to make money. I can't do that anymore. That I've
Wow.
also realized.
Kaushik, I have a question. When you have a very mixed emotion and ideas regarding your career, when everything is going very smooth, as you also mentioned your turning point, like everything was going normal, you are earning well and everything, but still you have different ideas and emotions. So how to deal with it? How to choose that which one should be the best part for me, or we should go ahead with this idea?
Such good question, Pallavi. I wish I had an answer for you. No, in the sense that, uh, Pallavi, I don't know. I've just learned that I'm unhappy if I don't listen to, finally, I don't listen to my gut. I mean, I remember quitting Microsoft. I didn't have any reason for it. I mean, they wanted me to move to Singapore, actually handle a team and do all these other things. But I came back home from this meeting in Hong Kong. I was back home, and I was going through this deck, this presentation, which showed all these different things we can do, etc. And it's still crystal clear. I remember there was this one moment of epiphany, where I thought, hey man, I mean, they're saying all this. Does this matter? I mean, does this matter to me? And then the answer from my gut was, it doesn't. I don't care if, Microsoft has 7.3% extra sales in, Philippines or not. I mean, it just does not make any bloody sense to me. I mean, and again, I mean, have I, Pallavi, but again, I have to be truthful. Have I done anything that actually is such earth-shattering or so meaningful that, okay, it's better than working for Microsoft? I'm not even sure if I, after that, if I did anything really that great. No, I don't think so. But I'm happy I listened to my gut, and I went to my boss, and I said that, Greg, I don't know anything about anything and what has happened, what's going to happen later. But I know only one thing, which is I need to leave now. So I had a German girlfriend back then, Cornelia, this astrophysicist woman I was seeing. I went to Cora in Berlin. I spent 6 months just chilling out. I mean, absolutely shoestring backpack, traveling, backpacking through Europe and Estonia, a couple of places Croatia, Estonia, places that I hadn't been to, some parts of Sweden I hadn't been to. I was just doing that in a low key, absolutely low key fashion, just trying to figure out what is the next step. And really, I mean, there was no clear path. I can totally see, Pallavi, I could have been a small, I mean, and I'm being really honest with you. I could be, and I still want to be, I think, I love kids, I don't have my own, but I really love kids. But I think when I think about kids, I think that I want to work or be around many of them. So I think I want to go to a small, a relatively small town in Bengal and do some teaching or be a part of a local school, or, I honestly, I mean, that's what I could have done. It just so happened that, there was this idea, and I just got sucked into becoming an entrepreneur in for the next 5-6 years. And that's what I've been doing. But it could have gone in a different direction also. I wish I had a better answer for you.
No.
Yeah, maybe we can do some of your whatever you feel, your hand things or your mind thing. Either way, one of each may be very good to
Of course, of
show the
course.
repertoire of things that you do, and maybe anything you.
Of course, Naren, thank you. Of course, of course, of course. Uh, okay, so let me show you guys a little card trick. Have you guys seen any close-up magic before? Like up close and personal? Naren has, but have you? Pallavi and Shruti?
No.
No. Okay, so I don't know. This is just a regular deck. I mean, mostly the stuff I do. Can you guys see what I'm? Huh? Is everything visible? All right.
Very good.
All right. So the thing is that mostly what I do is very interactive. That's why I never got that interested or attracted towards stage magic, because it's too far from people. I want to have that immediate interaction, etc. So it's a little constrictive doing things on, in a online format. But hey, whatever even if it is not great, at least you get to see what I do. So let me maybe I'll just take out the aces. Can you see the aces? So let me know if you can. Where should I put it so you can see everything? Okay, good. So I take out the aces out of this packet. Hang on, let's see, where is the other one? Okay, this is another one. And it should be, am I missing an ace? I don't think so. Oh, damn, I can't find the ace. Hang on. Okay, I think I can. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Okay, so you see the 4 aces?
Yeah.
Do you see 4 aces here? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. What I'll do is I'll put 3 indifferent cards under each ace. Okay, so this one has 3 indifferent cards, and they don't have to come from the same place in the packet. They can come from anywhere else as long as they are sort of indifferent. When I say indifferent, they're not aces. All right. So I can cut like this. Maybe take 1 card, put it here, give it a fancier cut. Take another card, put it right here. Give it another cut, put it right here. So 3 cards here. Madam Shruti, I just do this and you just say the word stop. Okay.
Stop.
Okay, no problem. I'll do it one more time.
Stop.
Okay, this is good. So, Madam Pallavi, I just riffle the corner of the deck. I want you to say the word stop. Okay.
Stop.
Okay, this is where I stop. And Naren, if you were here, then I would have asked you to touch any card, and then I would have taken that card out. All right. So Naren, you are not here, so I'll just do it for you.
I'm touching the camera.
All right. As long as you know that this is an indifferent card, anything other than an ace. All right. Yeah. So I just put it right here. Okay. All right. So there are 3 of these cards under each of these aces. All right. Now, Madam Shruti, would you point to any one of these aces, please? I mean, when you point it, I can't see, but if you were here, I would have asked you to touch. But if you can name, if you'd like, any one.
Shruti, go ahead.
Black, the third one. Yes.
This one? This one. Okay. Was it a free choice, Shruti? It was
Sorry?
a free choice, no?
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
free choice,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Totally free choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is the one you chose. Okay. So I take this. Look, if you were in front of me, what I would have asked is, I would have asked you to take these cards and then sit on them. Sit on them. But you're not in front of me, so I can't ask you to sit on them. But I will just, can you still see the cards? I'm just wondering where to keep it so you can see these.
If you keep it down, then
I'll just
tell you whether we can barely see it.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Can you still see the card?
Yeah.
Yes.
See these?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the aces that Shruti has chosen, right? I mean, the ace and the 3 cards that you have chosen, correct? All right. So now these are the 3 aces that are remaining. So this is the idea, Shruti. I take these 3 cards, for example, and I take the ace right here. Now watch very carefully, because you'll feel like this is slow motion. I'll do it in slow motion because it's look like trick photography, right? So you have to watch very, very carefully. So this is what it looks like. This ace, I take this ace and I do this and it just changes. Do you see?
Wow.
You see, it's just
Wow.
gone, right? That's just the first ace. And you know exactly what's going on, right? So I'll just try the same thing with the second ace, which is this one. I take this ace and this time I just do this to confuse you guys, So this is the first card, this is the second card, and this is the ace that you need to keep an eye out for. All right. So now watch this ace very, very, very carefully as I take it out. And then I blow on it, a small snap, and it just changes just like so. Right?
Awesome.
So this ace also goes. Yeah. So this one also goes. And you know what's going on because this is the third ace. And let's see what happens with the third ace. This is the third ace. I'll take this ace and you keep an eye out on this ace. And this will go just like so. And this one also transforms, right? And really, all of them are genuinely gone. There is not a single ace right here, as you can see. And there is no prize for guessing where they go. Because at this point of time, Shruti, I would have asked you to reach behind yourself and actually take one card and one card out. I'll just do it for you. One card out. This is ace number 1. This one is ace number 2. This one is ace number 3. And here is ace number 4.
Oh my God. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But this is all
nothing
sleight
to
of
say.
hand.
Like what would wow, this is fantastic. You know,
Naren, thanks.
Kaushik, you know, maybe if there's more interest, we could do it another time. But I'd really like you to do some mind thing also, because you know that I think that also is a very interesting thing that you do.
Naren, you know, so let me do. Okay, so you can do like many different things, but I just want to. So over the years, Naren, I have figured out that when I started in magic, I thought that magic was all about the apparatus, the things that you use. But then I met this guy happens to be in Kolkata actually. This guy called Gautam Guha, who nobody will ever know the name of. People know names of, I don't know, very mediocre magicians like Mr. P.C. Sorkar. Nobody will know the name of Mr. Gautam Guha. But I'll tell you, I mean, he's the only Indian magician who has a single parade in the Linking Rings magazine. It's like having 2 papers in Nature. I mean, that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, I mean, nobody will know about him. Anyway, he told me that, Kaushik, you please know that magic is more like a knowledge domain. Magic is more about what is here and what you read and how you figure things out.
You're on mute. Yeah.
Don't go on just buying stuff and try to, become a magician, because that doesn't work. I mean, so then he told me what you do is you get 4 coins, those old 1 rupee coins. Remember the bigger ones? So get 4 1 rupee coins, buy a pack of Bridge 777 cards, and buy Henry Hayes' Amateur Magician's Handbook. And then you stand in front of the mirror and then you flip through page number 1 and read exactly what it asks you to do. And then you do it 20 times. And then you flip to page number 2 and do that 20 times. And then there is no other way. And that really, kind of changed my path in magic. I used to buy stuff and then I totally stopped doing that. Anyway, I say all this is because I realized that I don't want to use anything, any special apparatus. So I'll show you guys something with exactly what I have in front of me. So maybe I take a coin here. Maybe I take a playing card. Maybe I take a, I don't know, like a Sharpie marker. Maybe I take this little band thingy, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I take one more something. So let's say I take, I want to take something very different, from, okay, so I want to take a, let's say, wasn't there a rubber band or something? Okay, let me take this Vaseline, okay? So guys, can you see these 5 things?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let me do this with, I don't know, Madam Shruti, maybe, or no, maybe Madam Pallavi. Madam Pallavi, you see these 5 things, and you please notice that when I chose them, again, I will not do any of this stuff with Naren, because you guys will think that I have already, spoken about him or spoken to him about all this stuff, and I'm doing something already. It's all got up, right? So not with Naren. So anything, all that I do is with one of you guys. Well, I'm meeting the very first time today. Anyway, so you see this coin, this card, this Sharpie, this band, and this Vaseline. Everything is different, looks different, feels different, made with a different, ingredient, has a different function, smells different, weighs different, etc. This would have worked much better if you were in front of me, but I'll try to show you what I mean basically, and you get an idea. So, Shruti, look at these 5 objects. Look at these 5 objects, and let me write something here on this card. Okay. Pallavi, sorry, Pallavi. It's a short story, my friend. So okay, so I've written something. I won't show you guys what it is at this moment, but let me again keep this highly visible so everybody can see. Maybe, can you see?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Madam Pallavi, this is what I would have asked you to do if you were sitting in front of me. Okay, this is what if I would have asked you to do if you were sitting in front of me. I would have asked you, first thing I would have told you is, look, in just a moment, you're going to make 2 choices.
Okay.
Now, one would be a conscious choice and the other would be a subconscious choice. Let me tell you right up front that the subconscious choice will be the more important choice. And after you make the subconscious choice, that is when this card will come into play. Okay. So now I want you to clearly look at all these objects, think about them very, very clearly, and keep any 2 of them aside. Now, Pallavi, I can't do it for you. I have to do it for you because you're not here. But can you tell me which 2 you're going to keep aside?
That marker and this card. Marker and
the
card.
Marker and the
next to each
marker
other.
and the card. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so okay. Pallavi, this is where it becomes tricky. What I want you to do is, are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right hand.
Right-handed.
Right
So I want you to raise your right hand and then drop your right hand slowly on top of any one of these objects. Which one did you drop it on?
Okay. Point.
Which one? Point.
Point.
And take your left hand up and drop it on any one of the other 2. Which one was it? Which one was it?
Yeah.
The band.
Yeah.
Vaseline. The Vaseline. Okay. So these 2, right? Okay. So Pallavi, at this point of time, I would have asked you to take the only object that's lying on the table. Okay. And then hold it on top of your head. just like this, right?
Okay.
Again, this is much better. Believe me, trust me, this is much, much better if you were actually doing it rather than not doing it over the phone where you can't really do those actions. It's like so much better. Anyway, but hey, if you realize what happened, the first set where I asked you to look at them very, very carefully and keep two of them aside, that was more of the conscious choice, because I gave you that instruction, look at each of these things very carefully and then keep two of them aside. The second part was more subconscious. I asked you to raise your right hand, drop it, raise your left hand, drop it, right? I didn't give you any explanations. I did not give you anything of the sort. You just, and that was more, as I said, that was more important than the conscious choice. And that essentially you eliminated all these four things and you ended up keeping only one thing on the table, and which I would have asked you to hold like this. Raise it in on top of your head, right? And show everybody, which means that you were left with this one thing. All right. Now, Pallavi, did you feel forced? Did you feel forced or, I mean, in any way induced? Not really, no?
No.
Okay. And I had no idea that you would end up with, among those 5 objects, you would end up with this one, this band at the end. I really had no idea. Interestingly, there was something that before anything happened, I wrote in this card, right? On this piece of paper, which was in front of you guys, really like this, right? So let me show you what I have written. Can you see it?
Oh my God, incredible.
So look, it's not, I mean, it's just, I mean, just to show that, hey, you can do, this kind of stuff anywhere. You can be on a train compartment or on a bus or something, and you can just do something that, I don't know, just, piques people's curiosity or have, people wonder about a few things. That's,
hey, Kaushik, we're coming to the top of the hour, but
absolutely.
Before we finish, I have a small exercise for you. Okay, I have a few questions. It's a rapid fire kind of thing, Karan Johar style, right? Right.
Now you're making me nervous, Narendra.
No. Like this is us. We are not reading your mind, but we just literally asking you about your mind. Which book?
The Black Swan.
Place them in an order: music, art, magic, or work.
Magic, work, music, art.
Concert.
Berlin Philharmonic.
Emoji.
Wink.
Olympic medal. Which sport?
Jesse Owens, 1936.
A different name for yourself.
Perceptionist.
I meant a proper name.
A proper name? Naren, this is, I don't know. Odin.
Favorite food that you would be able to stop eating ever again?
Favorite food that I would be able to stop eating?
Yes.
Oh, beef steaks.
Okay. Good one. And any other person's shoes you would like to live in a day, for a day?
Chirmule.
Good one.
Movie.
Pathir Panchali.
Yeah, that's all I had written over here, but
very interesting, Naren. Very, very interesting. Naren, before we totally end, and it's probably the time is done. But any feeling about, I don't know, you, Shruti, and Pallavi? Any one thing to share with me from your end?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. You go ahead.
Yeah, Kaushik. Yeah, I just wanted to tell that even though you have many responsibility and everything, but still you are happily managing doing your hobbies and everything. And, means I felt you are very positive and means it's a very good thing. Like at your stage, you have more than means us responsibility, as you are mentioning that so many people you are taking care of, like for their families and other thing. So I think it's incredible and it's an awesome thing, and I a lot more to learn from you. Actually, I'm very
You're
thankful.
very sweet. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. And all the very best. And Pallavi, I would like to know what you figured out and where you move, including, what you learn about genetic counseling and anything else that feel free
Yeah.
to keep in touch.
Yeah.
Actually, one question. Yeah, Naren, you go ahead.
No. I was going to give you his contact number, but go ahead. Ask.
Now, Kaushik, actually, I just wanted to know how you see this. Nowadays, people are working on data science. And
Pallavi, we take that question another time because I think that's a longer answer than just one line,
okay, yeah.
because we work in that area. We work in the data
That's
science
why
area
I
mainly.
thought you are the right person to ask such question, because our field is different than these things like artificial intelligence and data science. But nowadays,
Right.
you can see like more of the people like us, they are switching their job profession from R&D to data science and all. So how helpful it is and how means, okay, I'll take it
Pallavi,
up.
I have pretty strong opinion about it. We take it offline another time.
Yeah,
All
sure,
right.
definitely. I
All
love to.
right.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
All right. Shruti,
Shruti?
Um, a question? I need to ask question. I mean, I couldn't
No,
follow.
Any
no, no.
feedback?
anything, any
Yeah.
thought, any?
Feedback or something.
Okay. Okay. So what I felt from your experiences that I mean the conclusion that I derive from your talk is that even if we earn a lot of money, if that content is not there, that's why we search for a lot of profession that makes us really happy and stable. Like that is what I felt through your talk. And
Right
I
on,
think
right on.
you're keeping on exploring which actually makes you satisfied. And I think you get a lot of ideas through your travel, if I'm not wrong.
Thank you, Shruti. It's always a process of trying new things, I guess. Yeah. Good luck and feel free to keep in touch. And
A network should last a lifetime. Let us help you create lasting professional relationships with our world class mentors through the Biopatrika Industry Mentorship Program. A strategic guidance program unlike no other, full of expert interviews, industry internship opportunities, CV writing, inflection point analysis, life maps, and of course, the gateway to your dream career. For a limited time only, all our services are freely available for you as we truly want you to succeed.